No, the red clay of the Carolinas is a thorn in the side to most gardeners. That's why raised beds have become so popular. Gives you more control over your soil. In today's garden, Matt Kokinis, I think right.
That's it.
Founder of Microfarm Organic Gardens is here.
Yep.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, good to see you, Tanner. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, we're glad you're here, even though your last name is hard for me to pronounce. So, good soil. Why is it so important for us?
Good soil means the difference between a mediocre garden and a really good garden, Tanner. And you know, the importance of good soil is that it lets plants' roots take in air, water, and nutrients more efficiently. Pretty simple, right? And we have a recipe
for
good soil.
All right, Matt, show me what you got here.
It's got 3 ingredients. It's really simple, and we're going to mix some up today, and you'll be a pro soil.
I'll be ready to roll.
When you go home today. So the first ingredient is mushroom compost. It's this is actually the substrate that was used to grow commercial mushrooms, and it's got hay and horse bedding in it, and cocoa hulls.
And cow manure, probably, huh?
And it's got a little bit of manure, exactly. So
but that's what we need.
So we'll just dump a little bit of this mushroom compost into the wheelbarrow there.
Mushroom compost.
The second ingredient is called permatil, and permatil is actually little pieces of slate. It's little, it's rocks. It's little pieces of slate that have been heated in a rotary kiln until they expand and become more porous. And the purpose of permatil in this mix is to create airways in the soil so that it doesn't become compacted, and so that plants' roots can grow through the soil and take in air, water, nutrients more efficiently.
I have never heard of that, so
we'll dump in some permatil. The cool thing about this product, it's actually made in Tennessee, so it's got a relatively low carbon footprint.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And what do we got over here?
This is pine bark fines. It's sold as soil conditioner. It's just little shredded pieces of pine bark, you know, 1/4 to 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit bigger. This, kind of like the permatil, also keeps the soil from becoming compacted.
All right.
So dump a little bit of that.
Compacted soil is no good for your raised garden.
Bad, light, and airy, good.
Good.
Okay. So I'm putting about 1/3 of each. I'm not measuring, so, you know, but we put roughly 1/3 of each and just mix it up. It's just that simple.
And fill that up. Put that all throughout your entire raised bed garden there, huh?
Yep.
Plant your stuff
and
and you'll be rolling.
And so here we have a 4x6 raised garden bed. This is a design that we build a lot. It's a really popular raised bed design because of this seating cap. That and the height. So you imagine you're doing your gardening, instead of bending all the way to the ground, you can sit on the edge, you know?
Good deal. Got about 1 more minute, Matt. What else did you want to show us here?
So you fill the raised bed up with the good soil that you made. Now you got to fertilize the soil. And so we've got 6 things that are gonna take your garden bed with good soil to like an amazing level.
All right.
Okay. Bone meal gives plants phosphorus, helps the tomatoes grow big and red and juicy.
Bone meal.
Blood meal helps the plants grow up big and strong. Lime, green sand, kelp meal, and rock phosphate. All these are natural ingredients approved for organic growing.
So you put that all in with your soil you originate, and you're going to have a garden that your neighbors are going to be envious of.
Yep, they're going to be staring at it through their window all summer.
Beautiful stuff.
So you got your soil, it's fertilized, it's mixed up and ready to go, and you plant it.
Very nice. Get yourself a good-looking garden. We're ready to go. Matt, so nice. Great information.
Thanks for having me, Tanner.
We appreciate you being here. Very good. We are taking a little inventory in today's garden. We're going to make sure your garden is productive. You got the right tools. Matt Kokinis from Microfarm Gardens joins us about all the tools and how to take care of them. How are you?
Thanks for having me on the show, Tanner.
Well,
Better luck next time with the Great American Camping Contest.
You hear that? He's rubbing in already that I lost. All right, don't make me grab one of these tools over here. How do we start, Matt? What do we start with?
So Tanner, you're going to be a gardener. You've got your site picked out. You're dreaming about what plants you're going to grow, your tomatoes. Well, you're going to need a few tools to make that dream a reality. And so we've got a basic set of 5 must-have tools here. You could always use more, but these are the 5. This is a bare bones set. Okay, starting with this paddle hoe. This probably looks familiar to most of your viewers. It's a hoe. It's for chopping up weeds.
That's not very nicely
breaking up soil.
Okay, all right, breaks up stuff, I got it.
This is a Pickmatic. This is a really useful tool, especially in our area. It breaks up heavy clay soils. You can use this side to chop up hard soil, and next we have this is a square point spade. This is for transferring materials. Now,
Okay, so this is a square point. You transfer material.
this is not for digging. This would be for shoveling soil out of a trailer into your garden, or out of your garden into a wheelbarrow, or out of your wheelbarrow into your garden.
Makes sense. Okay.
This probably, most folks can figure out what this is. It's a rake, but it's a bowhead garden rake. It's obviously made out of metal. It's a little stiffer and sturdier than like a leaf rake. So this would be used for spreading material out in your garden, working in amendments, spreading in compost and so forth.
All right.
And finally, we've got a classic tool. I know everyone knows what this is. You know what this is.
That's
right?
a shovel
This is a
there.
round point shovel. This is for digging holes.
Okay, that one you dig with, obviously it's got the point.
Right,
Okay.
right. So this would, obviously go into the ground easier than the spade.
But a lot
Now-
of people really don't know how to care for these, now,
right,
do they?
Right. So you're going to make the investment in your tools. Well, there are things you can do to make the tools perform better and last longer. And the first thing you want to do when you invest in a tool like this is strip off the thin coat of varnish that comes on the tool from the factory. It's got a little sheen to it. It's actually a really thin coat. It's not going to protect the wood for very long. So you want to strip that off with a fine grit sandpaper and rub a wood preservative like tung oil would be a good one, or you can even use olive oil.
Olive oil from your kitchen.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Rub it on the handle. That
Okay,
preserves the wood.
So it preserves the wood and make it last much longer. The next thing you can do to make your tool perform better and make gardening easier and more fun is put an edge on your blade. Sharpen the blade. Sounds so simple, but a lot of people don't know you can do it. Take a 10-inch file, draw the file at about a 40-degree angle away from you, lifting up as you draw back, and put an edge on the blade. It'll make the shovel slice through roots and hard soil a lot better.
So what you're saying is
Okay?
don't make a saw motion with it.
Right.
Okay,
Push
don't do
down
that.
as you go away and kind of lift up as you draw back.
Okay.
And finally, you should always, always, always clean your tools off when you're done with them. Don't ever leave them outside. You wouldn't do that, right? Don't ever leave your tools. Don't leave your tools out in the rain. Rinse them off. Take the time to hose them off. Okay. Get a metal bucket, galvanized metal bucket like this one. Fill it with some clean construction sand, and dump. You can use the same olive oil that you used for your handle, and dump it in the sand. Okay.
This is it normal sand, man? Is it normal? What about like play sand? Like kids got play
You
sand.
could borrow some from your kids' sand.
Play sand's fine too. Okay, and you
Might
put
ask
some
them. I
olive
don't know
oil.
if they,
My neighbors are gonna think I'm nuts if I'm out there putting
Right.
cooking oil out in my sand. Go ahead.
They'll think you're really smart, actually. And so you've rinsed the mud off your tool, you've dried it, plunge it in the sand. Okay, what that does, the sand scours the metal, gets off any little, maybe there's something you didn't get off with the hose, and then the oil coats the metal and helps prevent it from rusting.
Goodness
Okay,
gracious, that's a great tip.
So there's 3 tips to make these tools that you've invested in last longer and work better for
Do
you.
you have to use olive oil? Can you use any kind of? What if I have motor oil lying around?
You would not want to use motor oil. That's a great question. You wouldn't want to use any petrochemical-based oil. You could use cooking oil, corn oil, canola oil, something you would use in your kitchen would be fine for this.
All right, I noticed you didn't mix the oil up there in the pail either. You just put it on top and just start
You
shoving
dump it in. Over time, it'll settle to the bottom, so you might maybe every couple months come in and stir it around, or
Okay.
maybe just add more. But
Okay.
yeah.
Tell everybody
So
about
not much to
your
it.
website again there, Matt.
I've actually got instructional videos on how to do all this at microfarmgardens.com.
Microfarmgardens.com.
There's an S on the end, .com.
Very good.
You can basically watch the same thing, only to me without Tanner in the shots.
Well, there you go. It gets even better then. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Nice
thanks
to
for
see
having
you,
me,
man.
Tanner.